you I was a late bloomer, which explains why I root for the underdog to this day. How many of you guys, this is your first prom ever? Yay! A lot of you. I keep hearing from a lot of people that you didn't make it to your own prom. So I hope this event fills the prom-shaped void in your life. Clearly, I love a good prom. Well, we are here tonight to take a stand for the inherent dignity of all people. Chris and Brandon, you guys heard a lot of numbers and statistics and some stories about what reality looks like for millions of people across the world. I want to shift tracks a little bit and talk about Dressember and the personal impact that Dressember has. You know, I'm 7 years into this now, and I've been able to travel all over the world and meet people who are supporters of Dressember, who are advocates, part of our advocate community, and Dressember is changing people's lives. It's changing victims' lives, it's changing survivors' lives, it's changing the lives of people who are most at risk to falling into trafficking, but it is also changing lives of advocates, which I never imagined. And even when I reflect on my own personal experience and what Dressember has meant to me, it has been incredibly redemptive for me. I was sexually abused as a little girl, and that launched me into a passion for restoring dignity to women and girls around the world. And it's so interesting because I realized, well, in order to proclaim that trafficking is wrong and the exploitation of millions of women and girls is wrong and it is not their shame to bear, I had to declare that for myself as well. And Dressember has allowed me to do that year after year. And it's been this amazing healing journey for me, and I'm seeing that happening to other people in our community as well. And the statistics tell us, unfortunately, the conservative statistics tell us that 1 in 4 women have or will experience abuse in their lifetime, sexual abuse. And the statistic for men, I believe, is 1 in 6. And so, unfortunately, probably many of you in this room can relate to my story of abuse. And if you can't personally relate, chances are you know someone, you love someone who has experienced abuse. And I want to tell you, when you participate in Dressember, whether through financially supporting or becoming an advocate, putting on a dress or a tie, you take a stand for yourself and for the other people in your life who've experienced abuse. And so thank you. Thank you so much for being part of this community. Thank you for an amazing year last year where, as we've talked about, we raised over $2.4 million. We were able to resource 12 programs across the US and across the world. And these are programs that we strategically chose based on statistics and information that we have learned over this 7-year journey. So programs like, I've got some slides here, but programs like training hospitality industry staff to spot trafficking victims in hotels and then partner with law enforcement to safely intervene. Programs like empowerment programs and vocational training for survivors and at-risk populations, and then outreach for some of the world's most vulnerable populations so that trafficking never happens to them in the first place. You've heard this number 11,000, that in 2018 alone, we impacted 11,000 people. But as Chris said, a number like that is too big for our head to understand. We don't humanize a number like 11,000. So I want to share with you a couple of the names within that 11,000. 11,000 people included Lakshmi, a 14-year-old girl in India who was bride trafficked when she and her mother were recruited into a fake job opportunity. 11,000 people included Allie, a 16-year-old homeless girl in Milwaukee who struggled to avoid an exploitative street economy where she had to sell her body in order to eat food. And 11,000 people included Cassie, a girl who at 12 was repeatedly raped on camera to be broadcast on the internet through a pernicious cyber sex trafficking industry in the Philippines. Lakshmi, Ali, and Cassie are now in safe, stable environments where they have access to resources like trauma therapy and vocational training, empowerment programs, medical care, safe housing, all sorts of comprehensive support. And because of the Dressember community, 11,000 other people like them have the same thing.